Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you another update on the Star Trek ship I've been working on for a while now, and it's continuing. I got quite a bit more done. Not quite as much as I would like to have had done by now, but it's been kind of slow going, but things are getting there. Let me go over all the changes to the body, and then I'll get into the interior and show you what's been done so far on the interior. The nacelles, to start with, were extended. It was in comments to extend them by about 3 or 4 blocks. I actually did it by 4 blocks, and the reason for that is I wanted to add additional lift thrusters to the ship, and having 4 blocks uh, in there allowed me to put in another XL lift thruster and seal it off on one side with Xenoblocks. So it's kind of like the magic number I needed to add another thruster to it. So now it has 6 XL lift thrusters going on in the nacelles. Now I did add some more weapons over to the side over here on the nacelles as well. I did show this on at the very end of the look at the workshop video as well. But so it has 4 artillery launchers over there. It's got well, basically 2 per side, and then another 4 in this section. So you got 8 artillery launchers there. Plus, currently it has probably too many. Well, I don't know. Too many's not necessarily a thing, but it's got. Let's see, 14 laser cannons on here now. So it's got you got 4 back in this bank over here. You've got 6 in the saucer area, and then you got another 4 in this area over here. Basically, again, 2 per side. And I did kind of rebuild how this is looking over in this section. I also added landing gear to the ship down over here. A little hard to see right now, but there's landing gear there and over in this general location. I used a model that's visible just to see what that would look like, and I don't mind it so bad. I'm just kind of curious on what you guys think of that. Some other little things were done with the nacelles on the insides. I still plan on trying to tweak those out a little bit more, but again, really trying to go for a pretty smooth feel to this ship. Also changed the red highlight or the red texture light color a little bit. It's a little redder than it was before. It looks quite a bit different in space than what it does on the planet side with the texture lights. And I've been trying to dial in the blue a little bit, darken it up a little bit. Again, it looks a little darker in space, but maybe I'll adjust that color some more yet. So that's pretty much the stuff on the outside of the ship. So it does land now, which is pretty cool. So I also did some modifications here. I moved the hangar door back 1 block because of fitting things on the inside, and kind of tweaked out this area a little bit. So I started working on the hangar. It's pretty plain Jane right now. Not a whole lot of detail. I don't have LCDs or anything like that in place yet, but I'm sort of trying to work out the interior layout of the ship. I'll show you that in a second, and how the hangar is going to be, or the main hangar of the ship at least. So over here you got a single production area on one side of the back of the hangar. So a couple small constructors, a couple advanced constructors, 2 320K storage bays. It does have elevators on either side of the hangar, kind of in the mid-back area, that are going to go up and walk along some pathways going above the hangar to the saucer section. And then it does have a single elevator coming up the front side of the hangar, which gets you to all decks of the ship, all the way up to the top of the saucer, all the way to the room actually below the hangar. So it's got this whole space over here as well. I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. Now, one thing I'm probably going to do is what I did on the Proxima 2, is dig into the hangar floor a little bit and have some things visible below the hangar floor. Like maybe that's a bit of more industrial, well, I wouldn't say industrial, but some engineering stuff. I might actually try to put some small shield parts or other pieces down in this area. And also it's going to need a way out of the front of the ship with like a doorway going down here, kind of like what the Proxima was doing as well. So if we take the elevator up, it's got well, somewhere in between 7 and 8 decks to this right now. And there's different areas in the neck here, different room sections, smaller floors, of course, another floor over here. Now, I've got all the, well, currently I pulled some out again, but I do have working out places for all the shield parts, and the large shield parts and the small shield parts are looking to go in this general room area, which is, again, right above the hangar in this general section here. And as we go up the elevator to some more decks, there's a lot to finish off in this ship, I'll tell you that much. This is where the medium shield parts are going to go. Now, I've only got 6 of... No, actually, I do have all 8 of them in here. Never mind. So we got all 8 medium shield parts in place in this general room right now. Of course, I got to build up the room. We got 2 fusion reactors, one on either side of that. And the small shield pieces are kind of not all there right now. I ended up removing a couple. I'll have to refit these and change the way that's going. It also needs to have the warp drive somewhere in the general location, and I'll probably end up moving the shield down somewhere. Maybe the warp will go on one side over here and the shield will go on the other side. I'll have to work that out. But basically, all these big time parts with the shield and everything are kind of the shielding, and the fusion reactors are kind of here, let me get the HUD on. Basically down in this general area up into the neck and to just below kind of the saucer. So I'm trying to keep all that away from the front of the ship. And I think that'll be very helpful too for the interior space. I'm not so worried about the interior space. Now, production and farming and all that fun stuff, I do plan on having that probably somewhere not that far from the main bridge. So probably on this floor over here, there's a huge amount of room that I can put that kind of thing in place. I was thinking about having the production like literally right underneath the bridge, and then I don't know. I'll have to figure out the exact format. I didn't really want to separate the farms and have like a left farm and a right farm. So maybe the farms will be in the center and the production will be in front of that or in back of that or something. I got to figure that one out yet. I haven't. I guess I'll once I get more into it, getting into the saucer section, I'll try to come up with a better plan for that. But again, there is just a lot of room in the ship. And keep in mind, this is like all these big parts already are going to fit in this area, and all this area is like free space, plus everything that goes down, all these different decks going on here. Now, something else that was changed too is the Proxima had a option to fly the ship in first person. This ship will have that as well. It does have a like a window for a first person view right out the front over here. The actual bridge will be in this general section right here, kind of right below the center area of the saucer, and it'll probably have a way up to a first-person view, kind of like the Proxima was doing as well. And I did add in some Xeno reinforcing blocks currently, but not a whole lot, just a little bit around the front. In certain areas, I got to seal off a lot of these launchers a whole lot better than what they are, and stuff like that. But and also make room for all those new parts coming in to Reforge Eden that are essentially replacing the solar panels. And now I suddenly can't remember the name of them again. Darn it! But yeah, there's there are some new parts coming in too, and it's going to have room to house all those as well. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with the ship. I had a lot of just tweaking things and moving things and messing with stuff, trying to dial everything in right now a little bit. And even like the hangar here, this is kind of like the first run on texturing and stuff. I think it's kind of plain right now. I think it needs a little more this, that, and the other thing. So I'll try to figure out ways to do that. On the ceiling here, I'm not so sure I'm going to keep what I've got going on here. I was using one of those new blocks, the one I actually really wanted, but unfortunately you can't paint the inside to the outside differently, so I couldn't like make it really work on here. I wanted to have the inside areas darker, and these areas look like they're like angled beams all in the same block row, but you can't do it because you can't paint those parts differently, or that surface differently to pull that off. Just little stuff like that, but for the most part, it should have a lot of room. The hangar itself, I do plan on putting in a repair bay as well in the hangar. Or do you think it would be better served if the repair bay was up on the actual landing pad back over here? Now, keep in mind that CVs cannot repair other CVs. So all you're going to be able to repair with this CV is SVs and HVs. So it's not, you know, even if you could fit a small CV up on this area, and there are some small ones out there that probably could fit here, it couldn't repair it, even if I wanted to go that route. So right now I'm kind of angling at putting the repair bay inside of the hangar here somewhere. And it's actually got quite a bit of room. Keep in mind, this is a 13, is it a 13 by 7 hangar door too. So it is bigger than the normal 9 by 5 hangar doors that I put in the other ships. So this area is just generally wider than what you think it is. It just the scaling on it doesn't make it look super big, but it is a pretty good sized hangar in here. And so anyway, that's where I'm at with everything right now. Also, too, if you didn't catch the last video too, I did work out an area for a captain's yacht. I don't know if it's going to work out yet, but I was trying to come up with a mechanism on how you could park a SV top mount here, and then be able to exit that SV and walk right into the ship, and try to keep it kind of discreet so you don't see the mech too much going on there. But again, I don't know if this is exactly going to work out. I really hate the fact that this walkway has this force field effect when it's not out, and it's driving me insane because I don't want that sticking out like that. But there's no other options. You can't seem to put a walkway without having a force way or a force field. I'm sorry, out there. So that part kind of sucks. Now, something else that was brought up too. On the front here, I added a couple LCDs right now, trying to come up with a at least first run idea on what to do with this front section here. So I've got all these lines in here at different alpha levels. So they kind of fade from the top to the bottom and get brighter in the center. I could fill that in more. There's basically 2 really big LCDs here. And the fact they go beyond the limits, the LCDs you only can have 5 blocks, and this is actually going about 7. I used that trick where you go up above the LCD, so you can make the LCDs actually bigger than what they are. So behind this wall here, there's a couple LCDs making that going in there. Now, in comments, it was brought up, could I use force fields for this? Yes and no would be the best answer. First, force fields are blocks, essentially. So you got to fit those blocks in a square area. So if I did add force fields here, I'd have to cut this whole back row of blocks and square it all off on the inside so I could actually put in the force fields. And then have another wall layer behind that. But it'll have this big, weird cut-in all along the edges, which isn't actually going to work out super well, especially for the side shaping that's going around that area as well. So it's kind of like a no. I mean, technically, if I rebuilt the whole area, I could probably try to find a way to use the force fields, but I don't think it's going to look very good if I did. I think I would have. I think it would look better if I used LCDs, but maybe just made the LCDs, a little bit better than what they are right now. Again, this was pretty quick on what I was doing there, but I was thinking about filling them in, making them look a little more bolder. I could even set it up so they kind of round off and fade away on the edges, but I have to put some more time and effort into the LCD for that, which I do plan on doing before the ship is released or anything like that. And it's obviously it's a ways from getting out to the workshop yet. But currently, spec-wise, CPU is right off the charts. I haven't added in a CPU room or anything like that yet. But and keep in mind, this is all with placeholder turrets on here. So in other words, they're all minigun turrets. So the CPU is going to go up beyond this. Now, it does have a lot of launchers and things going on in here right now. We're with turret count, total turret count, it's got 47 currently, which is under what I thought I was going to have it at originally. Maybe it'll get some more turrets, but I think I'm going to add like about 10, 12 sentry guns to this for some additional drone protection. It's running 12 artillery cannons, and I guess I have more artillery cannons than I do advanced laser cannons in here right now. 10 of those, 12 of these, and 47 retractable turrets on the ship here. I did add a couple more. Let me get the turrets out a second. Kind of see where they're popping up all along the top of the saucer. There is 4 turrets on the back of the saucer. There's a couple more turrets that were added in back over on the sides over here as well. And then a whole bunch of turrets on the bottom of the saucer. I did remove the one that was in the center there. And that's kind of what I'm thinking, looking for as in turrets. I guess, 47, especially if they were decent turrets on here, is quite a lot. Plus all the launchers on top of that is quite a bit of firepower. I got 2 of the small shield parts not in the ship right now, but I do have all 6 of the large and all 8 of the medium shield parts in here, plus the 2 fusion reactors. And you can see where the shield is chilling out at 173,000 right now. Not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. So a lot of shield power, but again, this is going to be a pretty expensive ship. Now, motion-wise, it's getting slower and slower, and it kind of sucks, but right now it's only doing 39 forward, and that's with 4 XL forward thrusts. And it has 3 per side for strafing, bringing it in at 29. It's got 6 XL lift thrusters to bring it to 58, and 4 reverse at 39, and only 2 down at 19. That's kind of how I'm doing it. So it's basically, I could match these numbers here and bring them both to essentially, the same balanced number, but I'd rather have that lift thrust, especially if I wanted to add more storage into the, or have a good production area in the ship, which I definitely want it to have. Good farming, good production area. It's got room for all that stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to show you where I'm at with it right now, and I'll keep on working on the interior and trying to get that dialed in. Probably the next area I want to get into is like the finish off the this hallway section, define the rooms a little bit better, get the production and the farming area in place inside of here, figure out how that layout's going to work out, and then start working on some of the internal hallways and figure out where all the individual rooms are going to be. But it is a big ship. There's going to be a lot to explore. Again, it's probably, I would just a rough guess of about 3 times the interior space of the Proxima. That's why it was so easy to fit all these gigantic shield parts in the ship and still have so much room left over. There's a lot of room in here to do this kind of thing with. My 2 biggest concerns is weight and size class, actually. CPU, yeah, it's going to be a high CPU ship any way you look at it, but weight and size class are scary. Size class right now, I just touched size class 12. I wanted to keep this under 20. As you can see, there is a whole lot of interior to finish up on this ship yet, and of course I'd like to do things nice and pretty and detailed and use blocks that have curves and edges on them and all kinds of things, which is really going to ramp that size class up a lot. So I'm scared with that. But one thing I am doing on this ship a little bit different, especially than that of the Scar Megalodon, is the Scar Megalodon, every little nook and cranny, I was trying to fit something in, If it wasn't really enough room for a room, I'd put like a ventilation duct there that you could walk through to, but that all ramped up the size class a lot. In the case of this ship, if I have opportunities to add in little things that don't really fit, I think I'll avoid doing that and just fill them in with like full blocks to lower the size class down. But again, even with all that said, it's going to have a lot of interior space, a lot of places to put things, for sure. So other than that, I just wanted to show you where I'm at with it. Let me know what you think of some of the stuff that I brought up. And if you got any other suggestions or whatnot, I do appreciate all the suggestions, by the way, including like even extending the length of the nacelles. It was done on the Proxima as well, and I think for the most part you can't hardly even tell that they were extended from where they were, but they are legitimately 4 blocks longer in this wider section right in here, and then it of course has another thruster in there. Something else I wanted to do as well to maybe keep the CPU lower at release would I've got some room inside these nacelles, especially along this one side here, where I could add in some kind of walkway that can kind of cruise through here to a certain point where you could actually place some thrusters after the fact. But I don't know if I want to do that. Again, every little detail I do like this is going to make the size class bigger, and I'll lower the size class down some if I just filled it all in with even carbon blocks. It's got, and again, all these thrusters they're not really protected from the outside. Just a steel block layer for the most part over the outside of the thrusters, but they're protected from one another to avoid chain reaction. So there is a xenoblock wall between one thruster and the other, and there's in just about every location here. So, and there might be a little bit more in there, and it's the whole thing. If you are flying this around, you lose your shields, you get a thruster pop back over here. I do not want it to chain react throughout the nacelles, and so basically it can't right now. You might have to blow up the one thruster, but then it shouldn't spread to any other thrusters or parts or anything like that. Same thing, I don't plan on putting any exploding parts throughout most of the saucer area, only the very back area down into the neck, and all this could probably be blown away pretty much, and you'll still be alive. Now, it's also going to have a secure bridge like the Proxima had, plus your first-person little cockpit area and your main bridge. Of course, it's going to have a holodeck in it, a med bay up in the saucer section as well, and who knows what else, some other various rooms of different origins and things like that. But anyway, I will shut up for now, and please let me know what you think. And other than that, y'all have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you later.